What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel, and if you are new, welcome aboard to Toy Bounty Hunter. I'm Al, and then I have Ewok in here with me. She is filming at the moment, but we're going to do a very special video today and let you guys see our personal Star Wars collection. So we're going to do a room tour of our collection here at home and let you guys check out what items we have here. And of course we collect vintage Star Wars toys, and I collect not all, but some customs and repro action figures. But mainly I try to focus on vintage Star Wars, and I do collect out of the box complete. I would like to collect things with the boxes, but unfortunately the room that we have here is not possible for that. So we kind of just took the time to organize what we have and fit everything to where it can go. So the layout is the way it is. So I'm going to start off with these vinyl cases that I have right here in front of me. And first of all, when I was a kid, my dad had two of these, and he had some of his action figures in there. So this actually kind of brings back a memory for me when I do look at these. But now I'm collecting them, and I did learn something new. So this one is the New Hope. So this is technically, well, it was Star Wars, but then, you know, New Hope. But this was the first one that came out, and as you can see, that's the artwork for it. And then they also came out with this one that was for Empire Strikes Back, and it's literally the same artwork that's on the one for New Hope, per se. I mean, as you can see, it was New Hope, but I thought that was really interesting, so got this off of eBay. It does have the insert and the stickers in here, and I thought that was pretty cool to add this with the vinyl case collection that we have. And then we have the classic Empire Strikes Back vinyl case that everybody has seen. I didn't even know there was one with the Wampa, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. I actually just learned about that a couple months ago. So I thought that was pretty cool. And of course we have this right here, the Return of the Jedi vinyl case. Now all these right here have the inserts and the stickers. I believe this one, the Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back with the Yoda, those two were actually gifted to me and Emily from our friend Chris at Raptors Comics. And I found this one on eBay for under $100, so that was a pretty good deal, because I think they go for a little bit more than that. And then this, can't believe that we got this right here. So, and a lot of people are looking for this that don't have it. And I know that can be rare to a lot of people and a holy grail. Those are the vinyl cases that we have, and I will add that one with the Wampa at some point in the future.
Alright guys, we're going to be taking a look at this shelf here, but before we get started with that, I just want to let you guys know there was a change on our Facebook group, and I say ours because Jeff and I actually run this group. It was Star Wars Retro Repro Vintage Custom Collectors, but now it's SW Retro Repro Vintage Custom Collectors. So you can find this group on Facebook. I made that group a while back so you can share your collection and everybody can share whatever Star Wars collection you are into. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, vintage toys like us or modern stuff or the Black Series, or not the Black Series, the expensive Hot Toys. Yeah, those things are pricey. So I got my Dagobah playset down here. I got the Battle Damage X-Wing flying over the Dagobah playset. I got a couple of custom action figures in this playset, and I have two recarded Yodas. It's kind of hard to see on this other side here, but I have the brown Snake Yoda on one side and the orange Snake Yoda on the other. I actually recarded those to put up there for display. And I do have Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker coming out of the cave, dueling it out with their lightsabers on the other side, but it's hard to get back there. And then right next to that we have the Palatoy Landspeeder. I got that off of eBay. And then we have the Palatoy X-Wing hanging up right next to that. Now the cardboard in the back, that's actually reproduction. It says Star Wars, the toys of the film, and it has a couple figures on there. And it says Star Wars Palatoy on there. I saw that on eBay and I wanted to get that for the collection. Now this here is Sigma Ceramics. Now this is a land speeder made from Sigma Ceramics. We went to California and I found this at Ivy's Hideout, and it was marked for $100. I actually saw this in a book before we left to go on that trip, and we ended up finding that, so that's really cool. It's for a, you put your soap bar on there, but that's a really interesting item. And then we have the droid factory right here, and it is completed out the box. We don't have the instructions or the box, but the R2-D2 is all completed and he's in really good shape, besides the sticker, which I love that it has a little bit of wear to it, so that's pretty cool. But I had to case that thing right there as well. And then we have the Land of the Jawas. Now I got a vinyl cape Jawa in there that is reproduction. I just put it in that set because, and then we got R2 over there in the cave with that Jawa. And then we got C-3PO with the escape pod. And on this side of the shelf we have the Hollow Cheek Tusken Raider. If you guys want to get a closer look at a lot of these items, they are in the videos in our playlist, but I'm just showing you guys how the shelf is displayed, in our Star Wars room. So this Hollow Cheek Tusken Raider, I got that in California. Found that at Pot of Gold on one of our toy hunts. It was kind of like the holy grail to go home with, so I couldn't pass on that. And then this Bantha over here, we got that at Archdale, North Carolina from the Star Wars store in an antique store. And then I just have the regular land speeder right above that with the figures in there with Luke and Obi-Wan, R2, and C-3PO. That's the original Kenner one. You hit the little button up front and it pops the hood open, unlike the Palatoy that I showed you guys. And then we have the original Sandcrawler right here, and this does not have the remote. I worked on it, I got the motor to work, so it does move. It's actually pretty cool to see that thing come alive. And I think we're going to try to find an original remote for it, but there's a whole story about this thing. We went to Planet Fun in Savannah, Georgia. We had the dogs, so I went in first, and I saw it on the shelf, and then Ewok M went in there after me, but before she went in there, I was like, you're not going to believe what's in that store. So I think we paid $350 or $400 for it, but we went home with this and had to add that to the collection. Now, on this side, over here on the shelf, I have my droid cartoon action figures, and I collected this line here. Again, I got all the videos on our playlist with each one of these figures, so if you want to get a really good close-up on these things, you guys can check out the video and see that. And then I have the original A-Wing. Ewok M bought her battle wagon whenever I found this A-Wing. We found this A-Wing and the battle wagon at the same time. I'm pretty sure we were speechless when that happened. The toy show that we went to was completely dead, and it was nothing but anime, and this random guy had both of those items. So we got that, and I want to add more to the droid toys over here, but I like how basic it looks and how simple it is. So, but that is that shelf, and we're gonna keep moving forward, guys.
Now, Kenner didn't just do the vinyl cases for the action figures, they also did the iconic Darth Vader C-3PO cases right there. Now we know that this C-3PO and Darth Vader were remade in the 90s, so you have to really look at these and check to see if they are legit or not. You can tell with the Power of the Force 2 C-3PO technically from the 90s. It is electronic, and it also is not this same gold. It's more of a yellowy gold. And we had to get these for the collection because everybody that collected Star Wars back in, the 70s or the 80s, well, technically when they were kids, they had these cases, and now, they collect these. But these have their inserts in them, so thought that was pretty neat. We also have the Chewbacca bandolier strap. Now the kids would put the action figures on the bandolier strap, put it around their chest, and head over to Johnny's. And it also had the accessory boxes right there for their staffs or their blasters. So Kenner did a really cool thing with, having these cases. Just like this case right here, this is very unique. A lot of people see these everywhere, and some people don't even know what this is, but this is actually a blaster from Star Wars. And this is the Return of the Jedi carrying case. And you open it up, you can put your figures in there and store them. This one overall has all the stickers on it, and it's in okay condition, but it's it's vintage. I don't want everything to be perfectly clean and all that, you know. It has some love on there. So those are all the Kenner cases that we have besides the vinyl cases. Waiting on the other half to come in to finish out the other side of the shuttle. But I do have some Stormtroopers and Palpatine and the Roll Guards displayed here, and some Stormtroopers on the other side holding Rebel troops hostage. And then I have the custom Stan Solo Darth Vader laying there, like in Return of the Jedi with Luke Skywalker, whenever his dad passed away. So once I get that other side done, that's going to be this little display area for the shuttle here, which I actually got that shuttle from my buddy Chris at Raptors Comics. I went there one random day and he had it in the back, and I ended up buying it off of him because I was looking for that and he had it. I think it was missing just these two guns up here, and we had to get those, and he helped me out with that. So now, just below the shuttle, we have my R2 and C-3PO section. So I got the retro R2-D2 there on the card back, and then I recarded the removable limb C-3PO on the card back. Got that card back off of Etsy. And then we have night lights that we found on a toy hunt. I think it was Totally Rad Comics and More or something like that is where we found those. And then Ewok bought me the glass cup, the Burger King cup. I think it was Mike's toy show at the Captain's Comic Expo, I believe. And then of course the retro C-3PO. Now retro figures, I do have those because I like the fact that they remade the original ones. Just like, you know, my dad growing up buying those. So I thought that was neat. You will see them throughout the room. And below that we have more C-3PO and R2-D2. These two here are retro. I just took them off the card back. And then this is a custom Smith Lord creation pop-up saber R2-D2. I just had that in there. I found that in California. And then we have the sensor scope R2-D2, which is original, and then a regular original R2-D2. They both have their original stickers. And another original R2-D2 with original sticker with an original C-3PO. And then the clock, there's two of them that were made. I do have this one. I don't have the other one. And then the R2-D2 that we have mounted on the wall is just, you know, for display. That's just something we wanted to have on there.
He broke my wall.
Yeah, he busted right through. So I do have a couple of ships hanging off the ceiling here. So just really quick, guys. We have an original X-Wing up here and Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. And also, I want to go over this, Emily, the posters right here. Mm-hmm. So this top poster is actually real, and it's, you know, it's original. Now, when I was a kid, my dad had this, and he gave me his. There was a big hole right in the dead center of it. I lost that poster a long time ago, so I actually found another one, and I got it on the wall. So, you know, and it's got the Death Star on there, so why not put the iconic scene that Darth Vader and Luke had in the very first Star Wars. And now this poster is the Return of the Jedi poster, but this is a reprint. But the artwork on this, Ewok and I saw this at Toy Federation. He had his on the wall, and it was Ryan's from whenever he was a kid, but he had reprints in the back room, and we actually got this off him for like 20 bucks. But we really did like the artwork on it. I mean, it's a little different than other artwork that I've seen, you know, from Star Wars. But, you know, for Return of the Jedi, it's got the Ewoks, R2-D2, and C-3PO at the Endor bunker, the AT-AT. You got the Stormtroopers. You got the iconic skiff right there on the bottom. We got Jabba with Princess Leia and Bib Fortuna. And, of course, the shuttle is right up there in the corner. And the TIE Fighters. And the X-Wings. But, I mean, this is cool. I mean, I think that's neat, man. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get that t-shirt made. That'd be pretty cool. So I have Boba Fett Slave 1 up here, hanging off of the ceiling. A couple of more retro figures. And then right here we have Darth Vader's Star Destroyer with his chamber I can't get the light to work. Now, a lot of these motors and a lot of my ships and a lot of these toys that I have that are legit Kenner toys, I got the motors to work and some of the lights to work or whatever, but not with this one. In this case, this one is not working whatsoever. But I do have it set up for display, and it is all completed. And I don't think there's like any like major cracks or anything like that. And all the stickers are original on this. You gotta have Darth Vader's Star Destroyer. You can't pass that collecting vintage Star Wars toys. Now below that we got the Death Star space station. I have the instructions, and I got some figures displayed on this. It took a while to kind of get the figures, and I got a couple retro figures and some legit Kenner figures in there, but and some Stan Solo figures. But I love setting these up. I'm very basic, very, just very simple, I don't want anything too crazy. I am missing the foam. It's got the original rope with this playset, but I'm missing the foam. And I got the two custom stormtroopers with Han and Luke there, and the trash monster. You got the royal guard. Kind of left it like this whenever I first put it here because I liked it. I liked the way it was on this shelf. So now below that, we have the doors with it. This is completed, and we actually have the box. I think it's just put away right now, but we got the Creature Cantina playset here. Can't go wrong with having that in the collection. And below that we have the Sears Troop Transport. And then this is the other version right here of the Troop Transport. So you got the Sears one and then just the regular one. So there are some differences with those two, but you gotta have both in the collection. And then below the Troop Transports we got the Sears Cantina, and then we got the Dewback. Now these blue snaggletooths, this blue snaggletooth right here, all the way to the far left, is a Smith Lord Creation one. So that's reproduction. I got that in California. The one on the card back, which it never came on a card back, I just did it because it was cool. That one came off of eBay. That's reproduction. But that blue snaggletooth that's in front of the card back, that's actually legit. It's got the toe dent. We don't have the one without the toe dent, but hopefully, soon we can make that happen. But we go on a toy hunt, you never know, it might be there. We've seen like how many blue snaggletooths?
A lot.
Dude, I've seen like 30 at least, it's crazy. Now this is my favorite corner of the whole entire room because it has some things here that I really love and I waited to get. So we're going to start off with the B-Wing. So we got the basic B-Wing. Everybody has a B-Wing. And if you don't, you got to get yourself a B-Wing. And you got to get yourself a B-Wing pilot to go in there. And of course you got to get the Y-Wing. One of the most iconic looking ships from Star Wars. I know that I say that a lot, but these things are amazing, guys. Now, I did get the motors to work on both of these again, so those work. We got, this is not the real deal poster, but this is a reproduction one, but we got that displayed there for looks, just to fill in that spot. And then over here, we got more retro figures behind the Cloud Car. So those are just some of the retro figures that are, reproductions of the original figures. And the Cloud Car is there, and we got another Slave one. That is going to be the Cloud City playset up there. And we got figures up there with that playset. So that's all set up for display. And then we're going to go over here to this stand right here. So this is one of the mail-away stands, and I think this came out after the early bird. So I used to call this the early bird when I started collecting and realized that's not the early bird stand at all. But I did, I learned and realized that's not it. But we got the Palatoy Death Star over here. Now, the parts on this thing is, reproduction parts, but the cardboard itself is actually legit, and I won that off of eBay on an auction off of eBay. Definitely love that playset. Speaking of early bird, we have the early bird right here. You guys have probably seen it on the channel, but this is show and tell. I'm still working on trying to get this thing finished, and Apparently, and I just learned there's two catalogs. There's a big catalog and a smaller one. And the smaller one is the one that came with it the first time. I think is what the smaller one, yeah, I think the smaller one came with it the first time. And then the second one is the second release for that catalog. Really interesting. I didn't even know that. It's crazy. And then we have Jabba's Palace over here. We just kind of threw those Return of the Jedi figures in there and had it all set up. And I thought this was hilarious. The Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker in there. He has the black cloak, which we all know that it was never made, so that's the retro one. Just thought that was kind of funny. Now under the early bird we have Power of the Force skiff. It is original. It's got the original stickers, and we got the planetary map, the instructions, and I had to throw the desert sail skiff next to it just because why not? You gotta do that. Might as well.
With Boba Fett.
With the Boba Fett. Gotta have Boba Fett, right? And then the yak faces there on the wall. That one's retro, which is really cool that they did that. I did not expect that at all. They need to make more. But that one is Smith Lore Creation, so I just wanted to recard that because it's fake. Put it on the wall for display. And then we have Jabba's Dungeon. So I got EV99 down there. That's a custom EV99, or, you know, whatever, reproduction. And then we have 88 over there in the back corner. And then we have the original VHS set for Star Wars back there. I think we found that at a thrift store or something. I don't really remember. Now, I wanted to get one for myself. But Ewok M's going to tell you about hers. But I'm not even going to go over it. So just ignore this right here. I had to get one for myself. Okay, guys? Just leave me alone. Now, actually, this is even, I think this is yours, didn't I?
It is.
Yeah, I got that for you. No, yeah, we'll leave that alone too.
It's mine.
So, we're going to go down to here. We got another mail away stand from back in the day. Now, this one, you can take the pictures here, and it actually has different images on the other side. So, this is the arena stand that came out for Empire Strikes Back. So, the kids also got this stand for their action figures to put their action figures on. Now all the figures I have on the stand right now, they're just variants and extras. So I just stick those guys on this stand here because why not use it for those? Now these mail away stands are really cool. At some point I would love to display them all together, but you know. And of course I got my custom New Hope Darth Vader cosplay helmet. You know, I got that made. I just had to do it. I love Darth Vader. And then Ewok M and I, we haven't gotten more, but we do want to finish off collecting these right here and have the whole entire set, but we're actually focused on other items right now. Those aren't the toys we're looking for. Now this is my Falcon right here. I redid one for my father, and I actually cleaned this one up. I cleaned mine up too, and I put original stickers on it. I had to get a bunch, like 5 different Falcons just to get the stickers and put it on there. And it has the original training ball in there. That was that's a whole nother story right there, just the training ball itself. Ewok M and I drove like 3.5 hours to go get that. That was that one random comic shop that we went to and bought that whole box with the Death Star. Yeah. Death Star space station, and it was that, and I forget the other, was it X-Wing in there or something? I don't remember. But I stuck the figures from 1995 because they redid Han Solo and Chewbacca over here, and it was like a 4-pack that they made in 1995, and Toys R Us, you can go there and get those back then, so I thought that was cool. I took those guys out the box. It was an extra set that I had. And above that, we got some TIE Fighters. We got the TIE Fighter Interceptor and the original white TIE Fighter back there behind the Rebel Transport. So I do enjoy collecting the TIE Fighters. And then the Rebel Transport itself is a big old whale, but we had to get it. We got that at Fletcher's Fun Toys in Fletcher, North Carolina. And then we have the AT-AT right here, the original AT-AT. Now the story on my AT-AT here is I bought it with original guns right here, the chin guns, And then one of them broke because I was doing something. I think I was putting this thing up or something. I was hanging one of the ships up and it broke. So I had to go on eBay and look for an original one. And it's original, but the colors are a little off because, you know, it was a set, you know, when you bought it back then. So if the original, whatever came, like, you know, it happens. One breaks, you get another. Yeah, so that's the story. That was fun. I really enjoyed that whole entire ordeal. And then we got the classic snow speeders. You can't pass that. You gotta have a snow speeder. One of them is completed and the other one is not completed. The other one is just missing the harpoon rope or whatever you call it. And then down here, above where I edit our videos and everything, I have my special action figures, but we have the Sonic land speeder, which is the one with the little clicker, the R2 clicker right there. It does work, like it does cut on, but it kind of does like some hydraulic stuff, so yeah.
Just kind of goes in a circle and then doesn't want to move at all because it goes out of whack, and then you fix it and it does it again.
It's like some Cheech and Chong crap right there, man. So in here, this is my special case. So these figures are all real figures, and now the blue lightsaber in there is fake. I gotta find me one. I gotta find me a real blue lightsaber, but it's the snap cape Luke Skywalker in there. But those Luke Skywalkers, I took time to get those Jedi Knight ones because they don't have any face wear. There's no nose rub or any of that. And I was really happy to get those. I actually just looked on eBay for those. But then we got some last 17 action figures in here. So you guys will see those guys in here. Now the R2-D2 has a fake saber. But I'll figure that out. But I love these things, man. I'm so happy to have these, and very, 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 very thankful and blessed to have these. Because these figures are hard to get. You know, if you don't have a lot of money or you're just really trying to get them one at a time, it's a pain. It's not easy. This Red Bar R5 in here, I think that's kind of hard to get. I mean, I found it at a toy show, but that's a toy show. You know, you go there, you know you're gonna find something most of the time. But that's what I have displayed so far in the Star Wars collection right now. I'm taking my time to add things, and you guys get to see what Ewok M has. So, you guys have fun with that. Oh wait, I'm going to be filming it, so I'll be watching too.
Okay guys, so it's my turn to show y'all what I have in our Star Wars room. So we're going to start up here on this part of the shelf. And I've got my toothbrush with the little head that we don't use, that's got Luke and R2 on it. I've got my Return of the Jedi thermos with Wicket, as well as the Return of the Jedi lunchbox that it goes with. I've got one of my Ewok cartoon lunchboxes back there with my Star Wars Ewoks VHS. I've also got the Return of the Jedi Topps Trading Card Series book. Got it because it had the Wicket on the front. We've got my Woodland wagon that's fully complete. It's got the characters, it's got the basket that has the fire in there. That one, I got part of the pieces off of eBay, part of them I got in person. So I also have my newest thing that we just got this past week, my Ewok shoelaces from Return of the Jedi. And then I've got the Ewok fire cart, and this, I got it. It wasn't fully complete. It was missing in the back. There's this little like hitch like what a truck would have almost, and that was missing. It was also one of the red pieces was broken on the side, so I ended up purchasing one off eBay and completing that, and then gave the remnants of the other one to Chris at Raptor for him to complete as part of a trade somewhere along the way, because I was back helping him kind of piece together his Ewok stuff because he wasn't sure which ones went with what, and was like, you know what, I have something for you as well. So I gave him my other one, And then while we were at a random store, we got this Ewok fire cart with the box, and I just wanted it for the box. So I've got that now. And then moving down in here, so I've got this special edition picture disc that plays the dialogue, music, and sound effects from the original motion picture. That usually hangs out on the inside of this cabinet shelf right here. I also have my ABC book, The Adventures of Star Wars, and it had Wicket on the front, which is why I purchased it. Then inside of here, we've got my Ewok ornament set, the keepsake ornaments. We've got my Return of the Jedi NPC model kit. We've got my graded Wicket comic. We've got this Endor, what is this called? Oh, Melanta.
It's the bunker.
Okay, thank you. The Endor bunker, and that's just kind of display, and it's got a Han Solo out in the front. We've got Leia with Wicket in their little meeting scene, and that's also an ornament. It's got the little spot where you can tie something to it. We've got my micro mini set that I just got with the completed Ewoks, as well as an Ewok Funko not popcorn, it's cereal, most definitely cereal, and Endor. It comes with a t-shirt. I think we got that from Fletcher's Fun Toys, and that's kind of cool. I've got this Wicket, I think that's the bendable Wicket, and he is on the card back. And then we've got these two cups that we found. They are the same, but it's got Wicket with R2-D2 in there. And then you've got Alex's Empire Strikes Back cup that he...
Yeah, my coffee cup shouldn't be there.
Leaves in here sometimes.
My bad.
It's okay. He likes to take my space. I've got this one little spot and he keeps his stuff over here, you know. So, we've also got the Ewoks in the Lost Children book. We've got this like Japanese thing that I found at Rebel Base in Charlotte, and it came with a picture of what it is. So it's the Ewoks attacking the AT-AT. It's pretty cute. And then we have the How the Ewoks Saved the Trees book as well from Return of the Jedi. Now this is from Disney World, like the Galaxy's Edge place. It's newer, but it has Ewoks on there with the trees, and then it's got some ships up here. It's got the Death Star, more Ewoks. It's got the Endor bunker. You can see stormtroopers, so I thought that was cute. It's not old, but I liked it a lot. Then we've got my Ewok magnets. So I've got 7 out of the 8, and we have to find the 8th one to complete my collection. Moving down the bookshelf, we've got the 2 banks. So we've got the Princess Nisa bank, and then we've got the Wicket bank. So, well, not me. I have these things. These are mine. As well as the gift set that I got from Blake's in Archdale. So it's got the wrapping paper with the bow, it's got the napkin set, and it's got the tablecloth. Very, 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 very cool, and he gave me a great deal on that. But even if he hadn't, oh my gosh, it's awesome. Then, moving along, we've got a couple of Al's original comics that he keeps up there. Just as kind of background. Then we've got some of my comics, my Ewok comics, that are also up there. They have the Ewoks on there. We've got my Wicket the Ewok puzzle that has Nisa with the donkey-esque creature. And then we've got Wicket puzzle. Then moving this way to my very dusty shelf, we've got my Wicket like keychain or eraser and pencil sharpener, and then we've got just this like Wicket that's one of the framed cards. We've got my Wicket from Spain that we found at a toy show, who looks kind of crazy, kind of red-eyed, kind of scary. And then we've got my tree house, so my cartoon tree house that is fully complete. So I do have the ladder, it's got the hammock, and then it's got the rope, but I keep it hidden because I don't want it to break. But let me see.
Oh.
Okay, so I've got the swing that comes with the 2 ropes. These are the original ropes that go with the swing. These are what get lost the most and or break and are hardest to find with the complete set. I had one of these and it wasn't fully complete. It was missing the platform, it was missing the ropes, and my ladder was broken. I found another one that was super high up on the shelf. We had it on camera for y'all. I think I found it 120 complete, and these are they. So these are gonna go back to being tucked, if I can get back there without breaking anything, just so they don't get hurt. And then we're gonna quickly move down the line. So we do have my Endor figures that are the original Star Wars from the 1984, 1983, 1984. So we've got Han, we've got Leia with her Endor outfit, we've got Luke with his Endor outfit, both of their coins. So that's Leia from Endor, and then that's Luke on the speeder bike. Then we've got the other Han in his coat with his blaster. Then we have the 8 original Ewoks right here with the Rebel Commander and an AT-AT driver that are both original. So those all hang out together. And then we've got one of the Ewoks who is gliding, getting ready to come and cause chaos at the Ewok celebration. He just can't keep his cool. So I do have my original treehouse right here. We do have the celebration going on. It does have the rock with the rope. It's got the net. We've got the Ewok catapult with the Ewok catapult box down there. We've got scout troopers. We've got another Han. That's one of the newer Hans. We've got speeder bikes, AT-AT drivers, the whole little scene. Then back here we have my 2 signed pictures that I got at one of the toy shows. I got both Logray and Milani's signatures, and those are from the cartoon Ewok series. And then down below that I have my Ewok kite, which is one of my cooler finds, I think. Didn't expect to find that along the way. So up here we've got the Return of the Jedi Battle on Endor transfer set. You can make the action come alive. I've got my 1984 Ewok calendar that has the peel-off stickers with it. I've got my Wicket the Ewok game, where friends and food gather in an adventure game. Up here, I've got one of the things I find really cool, which is one of the original posters that they had when the cartoon series came out on VHS. We found that at Red's, and C-3PO's head is a little wonky, but that's okay. We still love him just the way he is. Down here, I've got one of the Return of the Jedi plastic kid cups, as well as 2 of the Return of the Jedi cups, the one that has the Ewoks, as well as the one that has the scene on Tatooine with the Snarlack and the skiff. I've got my Ewok VHS, another one of those, as well as my Ewok Joins the Fight cassette tape that goes with my Ewoks Join the Fight book. We've got my 3-piece child set, which has the Wicket the Ewok Nisa cut plate bowl set. Got my Return of the Jedi Wicket Finds a Way little adventure book, as well as my Hello Wicket phone. We've got my Wicket toothbrush, as well as 2 of the Wicket erasers, and my 3D perk stickers that also have Ewoks, as well as other people, and Leia from Endor. And I saw Admiral Akbar. Now, moving on the line, I like to collect books, so I do have a couple random Star Wars books, one of them being the Star Wars storybook with full color photographs. And then I've got my Endor Forest Ranger vehicle that I got from Archdale, North Carolina.
Then there's the Ewok battle wagon right here. This is one of my holy grails. This is one of the things that I never thought I'd find. Alex and I randomly went to a toy show one day. It was really, really small. It was the end of it. They were over it. Walked up on a table. He had this, and he had the A-Wing, and Alex and I were in heaven. We made a deal. We left. He left. He made his money, and we were all happy. So I'll give y'all a little excerpt about that in a video one day, because it's really, really cool when you learn about where the battle wagon came from and why it's important in the Ewok cartoon series. So now we're going to move out of things that I typically talk about. We're going to move into things that Ewok M collected before she was technically Ewok M, before I was Ewok M. I'm not going to talk about myself fully in third person, but we've got Hoth stuff. So I really used to collect before I got all into Ewoks and I was like Ewok obsessive. I did collect other creatures. I thought that they were really cool. I really liked George Lucas's idea of what he did with the creatures and how they, a lot of them resemble certain creatures that we find here on Earth, but that are slightly different or changed. So I was collecting creatures, and then I was collecting Hoth. I have Hoth playsets. So I've got the probe droid set. I've got the Hoth set that has the AT-AT in the back with the elevator that moves. We've got...
We got the variants back there too, the snowtroopers, remember?
Oh yeah, we do. One that has the where the eyes aren't connected, and then the one with the eyes connected. So both of those are in there. So moving down again, we've got the attack base playset from Hoth. We've got the big sonar dish. We've got the Wampa back there. Alex and I used to have a problem where we had like 4 or 5 Wampas, and we've definitely toned those down. Well, they're in storage, I think, but they're not in here. Here we've got the Rebel Command Center. It's got the original cardboard with it. It's all beat up and rugged around the edge. Didn't mean to do that. Luke just lost his gun. We've got Han on his Tauntaun. We've got Luke in his Tauntaun. That is an open belly Tauntaun. It is fully complete. I just keep knocking stuff over because I'm me and it is the way it is. Y'all should be used to it by now. I need to move my hand because I'm going to hit something else. But that is our last playset that we have. That is Hoth, and it's very cool, and I like it very much. Back to my last few Ewok things. We've got my Ewok plushies. We've got Nisa, Latara, and Wicket. We've got Gwig, Nippet, and Wily. And here we have my Ewok cartoon figures. So we've got the Shaman, we've got King Garnish and Lady Garnish, and then we've got the 3 coins, but they don't actually quite match up. So one of them, the first one is the Ewok Shaman coin, then we've got King Garnish's coin, and then we've got the Scout coin. So when we met that fella at Fletcher's, I accidentally purchased the wrong coin from him. I ended up getting the Scout coin instead of Lady Garnish. They got swapped. So that's a find I'm still on the hunt for. And then we've got Logray, and he does have his coin, but he is missing his staff. And that is the first Ewok cartoon series figure that I bought. We've got my Wicket, the Ewok hut scene with the transfer sheet, which I found randomly. That was at Mike's in Archdale at the Star Wars room, and didn't even see it. They made a joke because it was completely out of my vision. But have that, love that. I do have these Wicket the Ewok with Nisa magnets, jewelry, keychain, and more jewelry, and they are 2 different Ewoks, both very cute. All of those were random. I think I found most of those at toy shows, and love finding those. This has been our Star Wars room tour. We hope you all enjoy it. Bye, guys!